Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Let me sit up here. So, I'm going to try and keep the talking at a minimum today, or at least save it for the end of the video. A lot of, I've gotten more views on videos where I talk about teams and why teams are doing how good they are on my Orioles, White Sox, and Rangers videos. So I want to give people what they want. We're going to be talking about another team. We're going to keep it in the American League West. We're going to talk about the Athletics. Now, I hate saying the Athletics or the A's. Well, I like usually calling them a team by their city, unless it's like the Mets and Yankees or Dodgers and Angels. Sometimes I call the Angels as Anaheim because I still think that they are in Anaheim, and I think they should still be called the Anaheim Angels. But that's a story for another day. But the Athletics, I only have an Oakland baseball. I don't have an Athletics baseball. They've had a great offense, and they're 62-72. They're probably the best last place team in the league right now, and that might not be something to brag about, being the best last place team, but they're definitely better than the Pirates and the Rockies and the Nationals and the White Sox. Maybe the Orioles have an argument to be better than them, but the A's have had a good offense this year, and the big question is, will this lead to future success in Las Vegas? The A's theoretically are going to have a stadium ready in Las Vegas in 2028, and I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, I hate bringing up the lockout so much, but lockout's in 27. Who knows what's going to happen to the 28 season? But yeah. So we're going to talk about their offense. I rewatched one of my first videos, and I say a lot. Like, I counted at least 25 times. It might be closer to 50. So I'm going to try and say as little as possible. We're going to talk about their offense, some guys who've been kind of disappointing, and then we're going to talk about, said it there. We're going to talk about what I think their lineup could look like when they reach Vegas in 2028. One second. There you go. Somebody texted me. I just swiped that away. So, first note card of the day. I'm kind of becoming known for my note cards, I guess. I'm not really known by a lot of people, but it's a staple of my videos. We got 6 players, and Leo Dallas DeVries down there. We're going to talk about the best, 5 of the best performers for the A's and 1 disappointment here. Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz looks phenomenal. Took the Rookie of the Year probably already from his teammate Jacob Wilson, who was probably in line to win it. Nick Kurtz batting .307, .398 on base, .635 slugging. In 92 games, he has a 180 OPS plus. And if y'all remember, OPS plus 100 is average. If you have a 180, you're 80% better than the league average. So that's amazing. And Kurtz is looking like one of the best first basemen in all of baseball, and he's a rookie. That is one thing I will be disappointed about if there's a lockout, is that if we miss any of Kurtz's young years, that'll be very disappointing. Brent Rooker, one of my personal favorite Athletics, 268 average, 340 on base, 489 slugging, 134 games played, 126 OPS plus. Rooker is one of my favorite A's because it's always fun when a player comes out of nowhere and does super well. Rooker was with Minnesota, he got let go by Kansas City, he got let go by San Diego. A's picked him up, and he's been pretty good since then. Also, one other thing I like about Rooker is that he's played every game. One of my favorite things is when a player plays 162 games in the season. Now, I understand why not everybody does that nowadays. I understand that it's probably better for guys to be healthy and play 155 games than to be banged up and play 162, and then when the postseason comes, they're not at their best. But I can always respect someone who plays all 162, and Rooker has 28 more games of that to go, so hopefully he can make it. Jacob Wilson, 311, 353, 311 average. I shouldn't just list out the numbers, I should say what they are. 311 average, 353 on base, 450 slugging, in 99 games, 120 OPS plus. Wilson started the year off really hot. He had like a 360 batting average or so, which in 2025 baseball, it's very hard to bat that high. We saw it with Quan. We saw it with Luis Arias a few years ago. It's very hard to bat that consistently. But Wilson definitely has good bat-to-ball skills. He has spent some time on the injured list as well, too. And he looks like to be the mainstay shortstop. I'm going to skip Lawrence Butler, talk about Soderstrom and Langeliers, and go back up to Butler. And y'all see why in a second. Soderstrom, 274 average, 348 on base, 477 slugging in 133 games, so he's only missed one. 125 OPS plus, and that's, I noticed I really squished that 5. If you're reading the card right there, it's kind of hard to tell, but that is a 5. Soderstrom, we saw him. He had like 12 home runs or so in the first month of the season, and he hasn't been that good since. And it's a very big adventure in the outfield. That's the nicest way I can say it. Very big adventure in the outfield with Soderstrom there. They moved him from first to the outfield. He originally played first base, but again, Nick Kurtz. You're going to make room for Nick Kurtz to play on your team. Soderstrom, it's kind of hard. He doesn't look very good in the outfield. He mainly plays left field now. But 125 OPS plus, it might be a little disappointing considering how he started the year. But first of all, 125 OPS plus is still good. And also, we've seen more from Soderstrom this year than we had in 2024, although he wasn't bad in 2024. We've seen more this year from Soderstrom than we did in 2024, and we saw more from him definitely than we saw in 2023. I don't know if I heard that. The Siri in my on my iPad went off. Sometimes I'll say Siri and it won't do anything, then I don't know what I'll say, and then it'll go off. Langoliers, really good hitting catcher. Not the best hitting catcher, that's in his division, that's Kyle Raleigh, but Langoliers is up there. 266 average, 311 on base, 547 slugging, 131 OPS plus in 101 games. And then Lawrence Butler. Lawrence Butler was really good last year, but this year he's really taken a fall off. He's really taken a dive. 226 average, 300 on base, 400 slugging, in 127 games, he has a 92 OPS plus. For a guy who had a 125 OPS plus last year, definitely disappointing to see Butler under 100, or anywhere near 100. He should be higher. And he is striking out a lot more. He's played 2 more games so far this year than he did last year, and he struck out 44 more times. He's striking out a lot, whiffing a lot. He doesn't look very good at the plate, and it is kind of probably a little nerve-wracking for A's fans because the ballpark they play in now, it's a much more hitter-friendly park than the Oakland one that they played in 2024 when Butler was doing so good. I still believe in Lawrence Butler. He's another one of the A's that I like. Rooker and Butler are my 2 favorite. Of course, Kurtz is fun to watch, and so is Wilson. But Butler, he also signed that big contract extension. He signed that contract extension with the A's. He's for sure under contract through 2031, and then there's a 2032 team option. So theoretically, I mean, if he ends up playing to 2032, he could be a 10-year. He could be 10 years with the Athletics franchise. They're going to be in 3 different cities during that time: Oakland, Sacramento, and possibly Las Vegas, whenever that gets figured out. But I would really want to see Butler succeed also because I understand if there are Oakland fans that are like, I hate John Fisher, I'll never root for the A's to succeed because of him. He's a scumbag. I definitely agree. But I do like some of the players on the A's, like I said. And if there are any fans still left that root for the A's, I definitely want to see them succeed for the fan base's sake. This is a team, every time they get attached to a star player, something happens. They get traded. Or they leave in free agency. And I think it's cool that they signed Rooker and Butler to these extensions. Rooker's supposed to be under contract through 2030. I think Butler's supposed to be under contract through 2031, possibly 2032. So I really want to see Butler succeed. Did they sign these extensions because Fisher didn't want a grievance filed against him? Yes. But I still think it's a good thing that Butler and Rooker are going to be A's for the long term. And that could help them be successful in the long term. Maybe they get... I know people are not going to like this because the Vegas Golden Knights were really good right when they came, and they've been nothing but good since. I know people aren't going to like this, but maybe Vegas has a good team. First year or second year, it is a possibility. One way to draw fans in baseball is for home runs. And the A's have hit... It feels like the A's have hit a lot of those this year. Nick Kurtz is 27 in 92 games, by the way. He's played 42 less games than Rooker, and he has 1 more than him. Rooker is 26. Langoliers has the most at 29. I think Kurtz is probably going to come for his lead in a little bit, in a few days or a week. Soderstrom is 23. Butler is 17. Wilson is 12. A good way to draw fans is home run hitting, and the A's hit a lot of home runs. Maybe it's because they're in a PCL ballpark, but they do hit a lot of home runs, and that is a good way to draw fans. I saw Nick Kurtz's 4-home run game against the Astros on TV. I was watching, and it was impossible to get him out. And if a rookie Nick Kurtz can be this good, I'm only curious what he can be like in 2028, 2029 when he's more experienced. 4 home runs, a double. He was 6 for 6. I think he scored 6 runs also. Just a phenomenal game. Possibly one of the best games of all time ever hit. And it was by a rookie. So, video can't be all positive, unfortunately. We're going to talk about some players who have been struggling for the A's or disappointing, or some guys like, there are a couple guys there that I didn't think were fit in the good category, but I still wanted to mention them. Here's a note card here. JJ Bleday. JJ Bleday has never been a high average guy, but last year, 120 OPS plus with the A's in Oakland, final year, he played 159 games for them. He's hitting 212, 301 on base, 384 slugging. Like I said in the Rangers video, 300 on base or lower, not very good. And Bleday is right there. He's at 301. 88 OPS plus in 77 games. He spent time in Las Vegas with the Aviators, I think they're called. I remember when they were the Las Vegas 51s back when I was younger. But Bleday spent time in Las Vegas AAA. Definitely a disappointing season from him after he was pretty good last year. Max Muncy came up. Didn't look too good to start his career. Went down, came back up, and now he's hurt. 215 average, 258 on base, 385 slugging. In 59 games, he has a 75 OPS plus. Max Schumann, 200 average, 303 on base, 288 slugging, 90 games, 65 OPS plus. Max Schumann has gotten a lot of opportunities with the A's. I think he's played maybe 200 games now. And I don't watch every A's game. I watch quite a few, considering I don't live anywhere near Sacramento. My dad has the MLB, whatever the MLB's version of the season ticket is, so I can watch any game that I want. But I don't see a lot of future potential in Max Schumann. Maybe as the games I watched, he didn't look the best in the field, and at the plate, he had just not been good 200 games in. And this is 90 games, not all 90 games, but a lot of time playing in Sacramento. If you're not looking good as a hitter in Sacramento, that's not very good. Denzel Clark, 230 average, 274 on base, 372 slugging, 47 games, 76 OPS plus. Clark is not a great hitter, at least from what we've seen. But he's a phenomenal defender. And I think he's a guy who, even if he's not the best hitter, there's still value in having him on your team. He could be a guy who starts one game a series and comes in defensively in the later innings for Rooker or Soderstrom or whoever, and he will still be valuable because he can play such good defense. One of the better defenders I've seen. And I'm saying this about a rookie who's played 47 games. Darell Hernandez, I didn't really have anywhere to put him, so I just decided to put him here. I don't think he's been awful. 261 average, 330 on base, 386 slugging in 25 games, 98 OPS plus, about average. Maybe he's the future third baseman of the A's. Then I wanted to mention Zach Gelof as well. Gelof, a lot of time on the injured list this year. He broke his hamate bone, and he had a rib injury. He's only played 10 games, but then he struggled, so he was sent down to Las Vegas, but he's back up right now. He's played a couple games. He's 2 for 32 in the majors this year. 0.63 average, 114 on base, 0.63 slugging, negative 49 OPS plus. Negative OPS plus is really bad. That's like, Abreu wasn't that low, but 2024 Houston Astros, Jose Abreu bad. I think Abreu's was 3. That's only 10 games. Gelof, we saw some good potential in him in 2023. He looked like he could be the A's future second baseman. Wasn't amazing last year, but he got a lot of playing time. But this year in his first 10 games, not looking so good, but it is only 10 games and he has been hurt. So I say give Zach Gelof a bit of the benefit of the doubt. See what he can do next year. If he's not good next year, maybe you could talk about him not being the A's future second baseman. But also, maybe I'm just too attached to what I saw Gelof was capable of doing in 2023. So I wanted to try and predict the lineup and the bench. I don't know if I did well on the bench, but I wanted to try and predict the lineup for the A's in 2028. So this is 2028. This will be Langeliers' last year under contract. This is the year that they should be arriving in Vegas. Here it is right here. I'll go through everybody. So I have Langeliers at catcher, Kurtz at second, Geloff or Muncy at second. I would say both of them haven't been good in 25. Geloff wasn't really good in 24. Whoever bounces back and looks good in Sacramento could be the future second baseman. Jacob Wilson at shortstop. I had Hernaiz at third. I noticed Tommy White was in the top 30 for the A's. I think he's number 9. He's the third baseman. I have him on the bench right now. If it's not Hernaiz, it might be Tommy White. Soderstrom in left, Butler in center, Rooker in right. I had DeVries at DH. And the reason why is because both Wilson and DeVries play shortstop, and neither of them have played any other position. Wilson hasn't played any other position at the majors, and DeVries hasn't played any other position in the minors besides DHing. So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe one of them moves a position to get them in the infield, but I would assume that it's Wilson and DeVries, and they're going to switch between DH and shortstop. Outfield, I put Denzel Clark and Colby Thomas. I didn't mention Colby Thomas. He's had 25 pretty good games in the majors. Tommy White as the backup infielder or the rookie infielder, and then Daniel Susek. I didn't know what to do for the catcher. I didn't know if Austin Wynns was still going to be there in 2028. I chose Susek because he's the catcher in their top 30. Maybe they sign a backup catcher. I know the A's don't sign a lot of people, but a backup catcher might be who they can afford, I guess. But that's my lineup prediction. If this happens, this is a pretty good lineup. There are very few easy outs. Maybe you could say Geloff or Muncy, but we don't know how good they're going to be in 28. Maybe you can say Hernaiz. Fair, but still, 7 batters that are really good. DeVries will be a rookie or a second-year player probably by then. Butler, we've seen good from Lawrence Butler. We've seen bad from Lawrence Butler. I'm choosing to believe in him. I hope that we see more good next year and the year after that than bad. But overall, this is a very good lineup. And the thing that has hurt the A's most, I would say, this year is pitching. But also, they're in Sacramento. Ball flies out of that ballpark. It's a PCL park. And maybe guys like JT Ginn or Jacob Lopez, Osvaldo Bido, Mitch Spence, maybe those guys are better in Las Vegas, where the ball doesn't fly out of the ballpark. Or I don't think it will right now. I mean, it's kind of hard to know because it's still, a bunch of dirt and pillars. The stadium hasn't really been built yet. But those are my thoughts on the A's. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I got a lot of views on my Rangers, White Sox, and Orioles videos in my ranking Parkers videos. I want to thank everybody for that. I'm going to try and keep posting videos. I said this before, school's been really stressful, and a lot of, especially on Tuesdays and Thursdays, very busy. And I am going out of town this weekend. But I'll try and make sure I have some content lined up to talk about. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you all again in another video, hopefully tomorrow. Goodbye.